Welcome back to another episode of Muscles and Masculinity from T to Z. I'm your co-host Scott, and I have my co-host Jody. And today we are being joined by Blaine, who currently lives in Texas, and he was just telling us that he's from Alaska. He's like the furthest north person that we've ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Why'd you move
it's
from
pretty wild. I don't
Alaska
know how
to
the hell I got
Texas,
here.
though?
I followed a girl here, man. I don't know why I'm here.
You
That's
know
all right.
what?
that'll
It's
do it.
it's all good. No, it really is. That's how I got to Maryland. I followed a girl, and then
Right, right.
that did not happen. So yeah.
Yeah, same.
But now,
Oh
what you and that girl are trying to leave the country, right? Is
So this
that
is a
where we're
different
at?
girl.
Oh shit.
So
Oh,
good.
your
that
girl, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. No, that girl was long, long ago. I've been in Texas
Sure, yeah.
for about to be like I think 6 or 7 years right now. So my girlfriend and I have been together for about 4. So that's long over with. But yeah, now we're trying to go to France for sure.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be going in August 2026. Like what, 8 months from now?
Wow.
We're just trying to like raise money and get the hell out of here. That's the plan.
Yeah. And you're the first one that we've had on the show, I think, that is trying to leave actually actively working towards leaving the United States,
Mm-hmm.
based
Yeah.
on my understanding is the current administration and being transgender in America, let alone Texas.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no, Texas is the worst, man. You can't even like it's illegal right now for me to like go to the Capitol and use the bathroom, like use the men's room. So Texas is like the worst of the worst, I'd say. Luckily, I'm like right in Austin, so Austin is like the more liberal, like the quote unquote woke spot of Texas. So it's not super bad, but
Yeah.
it is getting to that point. So I'm just like, I would like to just get ahead of it and get the heck out of here. Plus, my girlfriend is from France, so leaving would be easy for her. She already speaks the language and all that stuff. So I just basically just ride her coattails there, and I just gotta I gotta figure out how to speak French. That's number one.
Dude, yeah, that's tough. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started learning French. It's not that bad of a language to learn. It's very interesting. I definitely enjoy learning it. So
Yeah, it's hard though. I take
You got a job
classes.
lined up
I'm
then?
like enrolled in like the school here. What's up?
Oh, so that's what I was going to ask, if you were going to work or if you are. I thought I heard that you guys had both gotten into school and you were doing that.
Right, right. Yeah, so she's gonna go into like an art school. She got accepted. We already paid a big chunk of that to like start up, which is awesome. And then for me, I don't have to I don't have to apply. I just have to pay for it. So it's like a French program where they teach you French from start to finish over the course of a whole year, and it's basically like a job. So you go, it's like 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then by the end of the year you should be fluent in French, and then they sponsor your visa in there, so that way you don't have to worry about figuring out how the hell you're gonna get there. All you gotta do is show up, take class, and it's like very like hands on, like going out to the shops and talking to people. But it's gonna be like a whole bunch of different types of people. You know what I mean? It's not just gonna be just one American guy. It's gonna be like people from all over the world. So it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, I'll say that's awesome.
Yeah, right.
shit, I'll do that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I would love to do that. It's like bye. I'm out.
so can you say, or
Man.
can you, like, from time that you and your girl are talking and you say, look, shit's hitting the fan right now and we need to actually make steps, not talk about it, actually make steps and work and get to where you're at now. How long has it been? When did that start? How did these conversations kind of start?
Well, it started like right when Trump got in office. Like the second that we found out he won, we were like, all right, we got to figure stuff out. And then it started to get to the point where they were talking about, taking gender markers off of passports, IDs, and then things just started to feel very like targeted towards the trans community. Like even during, like whenever before he was even in yet, before he was in office, you'd see like the ads on TV where they're like, "Oh, the transgender insanity. We got to save our country, save our children." And then the stories about kids going to school and getting like gender reassignment surgery and stuff randomly. I'm like, okay, the narrative is getting spun. not in my favor right now, so we need to figure something else out. And then not only that, it's just like quality of life, like my girlfriend and I both work. I work 2 jobs and we're hardly making it here. So it's also just quality of life. The food here is poisoned. You know what I mean? There's like a million
Yep.
ingredients in something like a banana. It's like, I don't trust this banana. You know what I mean? So I'd
Yeah.
like to go somewhere where I know what's in the food. I know that the quality of life is better. The government supports you when you go over there too. So like when we're over there, we get some type of allowance. I think it's like 300 euros each a month, just because we're students. So they prioritize education and being able to actually live and eat and have like a good quality of life. So I'm like, why not go there? There's like nothing holding me
pretty
back.
much.
Right. It does suck though that I'm like old compared to like I'm considered old. Like I don't think I'm old, but in France for school, a 30-year-old going back to school, to them they're like, what the hell is this guy doing here? So that's gonna be
Really?
weird, hanging out with a whole bunch of 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be fine. I think it'll be all right.
That's wild.
It'll definitely be a different contrast for sure.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm panicking a little bit. I'm like, I like the modern, like the way that the city looks and things like that. And I'm like, shit, we're about to be like walking up on cobblestone. Like, what is that gonna be like? It's gonna be weird, But I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm also excited just to eat whatever the hell I want.
That is. That's awesome, man.
Right. Just
And
a
it'll be
ton of
healthy
food.
too. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be shit either.
Right, exactly. So like people talk about going to France and like they eat like whatever the hell they want, pastries and all these things, and then they lose like 5 pounds. And I'm like, all right,
Yep.
cool. At least I know that the stuff I'm gonna eat's not gonna like inflame me and make me feel like crap.
No,
You know what I mean?
no, it's because the U.S. has a bunch of preservatives in their shit, whereas other countries like France, UK, it's all good, clean, healthy stuff. It's because they actually have
Mm-hmm.
an FDA that actually works.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, they
Dude.
have
They
regulations
prioritize
on
their
what you can put
citizens.
in food, which is crazy. What a crazy
Yeah,
concept.
Yeah.
crazy concept.
I think didn't Trump just recently allow for them to start putting like crazy pesticides on our food or something? Something just came out about that
Dude.
where it's like
I
cancer
was just
causing. It's
I
like
talking to
think
somebody
so.
linked to
about that.
cancer, and now it's allowed
Yeah.
on our food. Right.
Yeah,
I used to work for a
You know,
fumigation company and we did all that shit. We sprayed everything with glyphosate and all this other shit. And
Ah,
it like I was just telling somebody the other day, these companies can be bought, and with the current administration, they can be bought very cheaply. And so we sprayed organic shit with the same shit that I'm gonna end up like dead or something now saying this like publicly. It was the
yeah.
same shit that we put on everything else. And the soil testing was bullshit. And it was just to have a
Right.
paper trail. But yeah, you're eating, like, even if you're eating organic in America, you're eating the same shit. It's the exact same shit.
Right. Right. Unless you're
yeah.
like growing it yourself, which who the hell can do
Mhm.
that? So, and then
Well,
that's
yeah.
and
And
another thing too, like being in Alaska and stuff like that. Like you can't grow your food. Like I mean, you have like a 3 month time frame where you could grow food, but other than that, you're like importing it from Seattle. So they're like shipping it over or they're boating it over, and by the time you get your veggies and stuff, it's all spoiled. It's been hella sprayed with all kinds of crap to make it last, to keep the color in it and everything. But by the time you take it home, it's all like molded up and nasty. So like vegetables, fruits, and all that stuff were so hard to have access to. And I was in Alaska for like 10 years. So it was like frozen fruits and frozen vegetables just because, yeah, you don't trust that crap.
that sounds horrible. Sounds fucking
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The summer's sick though because, you got 3 months where it's like all sunlight all the time. So if you do have like a garden, your shit gets huge. Like a
But yeah.
lettuce head this big. It's like huge. But yeah, I've seen some
Oh
crazy
my
shit when,
God.
when it comes to vegetables. But it's just because the nonstop sunlight on that thing all the time. But again, that's only 3 months, so then you're back to the frozen stuff.
Dude.
I mean, hey, 3 months is better than nothing.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Don't
so.
you have like
Stock up.
3 months of total darkness too? Isn't there like a time where that
Well,
happens?
it's like basically like 8 months. So you're like 8 months of straight up darkness, and the sun will kind of come up at like It was like 3 or 4 p.m., but then to go right back down.
Oh,
So by the time, like when I was in
I'd be
school,
so
I would go to
depressed.
school at night, and then I would get out at night. Right. It was horrible, dude. Like, it's so depressing there that they actually, like, if you go to like the clinic and stuff, they actually have like tanning beds for you because they want you to like sit in the tanning bed for like 15 minutes a week, so that way
Yeah.
you could get some like some sunlight, some exposure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Imitation
So
sunlight.
it's
Yeah, so
pretty
you're not
crazy.
losing. Yeah. Oh
Right.
man,
Right.
that's wild. That
And
is
how old were
wild.
you? You said you were there for 10 years, but how
I
old
know.
were
So
you
I
in
was in
that
the.
time frame?
I was like 14 to like 24, 25. I left for a bit, like for like a year, and then I went back. But that's the thing about going back home is like you get stuck there, because it's hard. It's expensive
Yeah.
to leave. The tickets are so expensive. It's like going out of the country essentially. So the tickets are pricey. And then I would do like seasonal work. So like for the 3 months of happiness, I would do like a seasonal job. And if I left, I would go back to do that job because it would pay like, like 15,000 for 3 months. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this for 3 months and then go back where I was living at the time, and I was in Alabama. Um, and then I went back one time with a girl, and then we got stuck there for like 2 years, dude. So it was horrible. We were there for a long ass time, and I
Yeah.
was like, why am I
Dude.
back here? Because like growing up in it was so cool because it's fun. You're a kid, you don't give a shit. You could go play in the snow or whatever. But when you're like an adult and like you're turning 21, it's like there's one bar in my whole town.
Oh
So
my
you got like
God.
the teachers that were your teachers at the bar. So it's like weird,
Ugh.
dude. So you're like, okay, by the time you hit your 20s, you're like, I think I gotta get out of here. So I went from there to Washington because it was the easiest step over. I went there, and then COVID happened. So it was shut down. We were shut down for like a year when I was there, and then I was like, okay, what's open? And also Seattle's also expensive. I think I was paying like
Yeah.
$2,300 for like a crappy apartment, and I was making like $15 an hour. I was like, okay,
Oh
it's
shit.
time to go. So we literally
Yeah.
like gave some random lady all of our shit, and we just let her take everything in a U-Haul, and then we just left. We had like a bag, and we were like, Texas is open, so now I'm here. Texas is open.
Dude, Texas is
Texas
open.
is
They're like,
always
we're
open.
always open.
Right. They took COVID seriously for like 3 months, and they're like, you know what? I don't think it's real. So let's just open things back up.
Conservatives, man.
Yeah.
Fucking
COVID
conservatives.
along with Texas along with Florida are along the same lines of we don't care.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was happy about it, obviously, because I was like, I'm sick of this shit. Also, being in the fitness industry
Yeah.
and like wearing a mask while you're like working at the gym is not fun.
Mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
glad that shit's behind us. Hopefully.
Dude.
Better knock on some wood.
Yeah. Right.
So now, are you doing coaching or have you done coaching? I can't remember if I had seen that.
Yeah. So
Online coaching and
I
stuff.
coach right now. I coach at two different gyms. So I coach at like an F45, which is like the high intensity like interval training, and then I do coaching at the Yard, which is more of like your compound lifts and stuff. But they still have that like functional fitness side. So it's like you could pick one side or the other. So you have your like lifting, heavy lifting, and then you have functional fitness. So it's like a hybrid style gym. So that's kind of where I'm more so leaning nowadays. I started doing powerlifting. That was like my first. I feel like when you're young and have an ego, you start with the powerlifting. And then I slowly went into bodybuilding. And then I was like, this isn't healthy for me. And then I went into hybrid. So now I'm doing the hybrid style training. So it's like you got your high intensity, you got your main like heavy ass lifts, and then running, which is like I never thought I'd be fucking running, but I'm 30. I guess that's what you're supposed to do when you turn 30.
Dude.
I am 34 and I don't run, so
Well, apparently it's a crisis thing, so don't worry. You're in the clear, man.
it's
Yeah.
like midlife
Dude, and you're gonna
crisis
be
shit.
running
Right,
around
exactly.
France soon, so that'll be
You're
cool.
like, what am I running from? I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm
you
running
will.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, me and Jody can relate. Like, as black men, if we see somebody that's running, we don't care. We're just gonna start running with them.
Take off,
It's just
dude.
like that
Like he
video
knows
on the
something I
college
don't.
campus where, like,
Right.
right. It's like, what are we running from? Okay, we're going.
Don't come to
Just
Austin, then,
go.
dude. You're just gonna become a runner. They're everywhere. Every corner, you got
Like,
someone
you're the
running. So
second person to say that, and that's hilarious because the first dude that said it, he was like, "Everybody's just fucking ripped here, and everybody just walks and jogs and runs." And I was like, "What the fuck is this
yeah,
dude talking about?" So
dude, they're
it's
crazy here.
hilarious that you just
That is
confirmed.
what I'm a little sad about leaving here because of that. Like, fitness culture here is crazy. Like, I mean, I've been around places where they like fitness, but this is like they eat, sleep, and breathe fitness here. Especially like right in the like downtown Austin, you have all of your little runner bros that all look the same, but they're all like out there doing sprints and shit, or like run clubs and stuff like that. And I recently got into like doing high rock stuff, which I'm sure y'all have heard of that. Well, maybe not, but have y'all heard of that high rocks before?
Yeah, it's kind of
No,
like CrossFit.
Right. It's like that minus like the lifts. Like you're not gonna do anything with like a barbell out there. So it's more for like your everyday athlete, but they do have like the pro division, so like the more serious athletes. I went out there. They had like a competition in Dallas just a couple weeks ago, and holy shit, man! Like I was out of my element. The people there were like, their abs are like this thick off of the core. You know what I mean? Like holy crap,
oh god,
everybody was shredded. Top tier athletes. It was crazy, but they all do like Olympic lifting, and they do running, and they do this. So it's like a little bit of everything. So that's kind of why I've moved that way, just to have variety. Also, I just feel like I like the aesthetic of it better. Like I don't know,
yeah.
they look strong, but also like they can run, like they can fit through a door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and mobility,
Right.
man. You see these bit, and
Right.
like myself included. I don't know about Scott, but like I have dog shit mobility, and I spend every morning doing 20 minutes so I can walk and shit, and it's muscle imbalances and
Right.
building heavy on top of that, and push, 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 and it's like, dude, I can't fucking touch my toes. Like it doesn't matter how much I can
Right.
deadlift if I
Right.
can't move the muscles. So yeah, that's my training has changed now too of just functional shit and heavy shit.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I
Well,
fried
Yeah,
my
why'd you make
back
that
as well.
face, man?
Oh, go ahead.
oh, because I can fit through doors, and I'm also semi flexible.
Nice.
Okay, I can barely fit through my bathroom door, all right? But like I have to turn sideways in order to walk into my bathroom door.
Buff.
But I stretch like 3 times a week.
3 times a
Yeah,
week?
I need to.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude. I'll be stretching twice a day.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's what
Gotta get
minimum
that
I
stretch,
should
man.
be doing, but
Right.
yeah.
Sometimes I was stretching more because
Blaine, how
of the
old are you?
coaching. Like in my coaching, I have to lead the stretch, and then I have to lead a stretch
30.
afterwards. If I'm coaching like 6 sessions a day, you're stretching 12
You do
times. So I do stretch a lot, but you'd think I'd be more
sessions?
flexible. Oh yeah, yeah.
Holy
I do a lot because
shit,
I'll do
man.
a full day over at one job, and then I'll do a half a day over at the other, just to raise money to get the hell out of here.
Oh yeah,
So
fuck.
Yeah, that
gotta
makes
hustle,
sense.
man. They pay well, and you don't have to. It's like you don't have to create the program yourself, you know. So I'm like, all
You
right,
just
I'll
follow
do
it.
it.
Nice.
Right, exactly.
No, that's good that you're in a
But
gym too, because
yeah,
I mean, not that it's like a shit thing, but you're actually working face to face with people, and you have a lot of online coaches that struggle, myself included, one on one with clients in the gym. I have a hard time, and I mean, I know you said that there's stuff in place that you follow, but it's still that interaction. There's a lot of people that jump into online coaching that haven't worked on a gym floor, and it fucking sucks. Like working on a gym
right,
floor usually sucks, and you don't want to go back to it. But it's refreshing to hear that you are actually out doing the shit face to face with people in so many classes and so frequently. Holy shit.
right. No, I mean it's not. I actually started back in Alaska. There's only one gym, and the gym was on base, and you had to be either military or you had to work out on base to get access to the gym. So I was like, well, fuck, I'm gonna get a job out there. So I got a job out there. I worked randomly. I did security escorting for the military. So we had like a missile field out there. I would escort people onto the missile field, and it was a nice job. It was easy. I hardly literally just read magazines all day. There's nothing to do. Security sounds like scary, but you're not doing shit. You're just reading magazines, playing cards, or
Yeah.
whatever. So I did that for a bit, and then I would do after that. I'd go to the gym. That was the only thing I wanted it for. I wanted to have access to the damn gym. So I was like out there, and then I started coaching, like the wives that, the military wives that had nothing to do with their day, but I was doing it for free, and I was just out there. And then they liked me over at the gym, so they hired me there. So they made me become a lifeguard. They have an indoor
Awesome.
pool, so I had to become a lifeguard, which was sick because you had to train to be a lifeguard. So you had to do an hour of weights a day, an hour of swimming a day, and then you had to do some time on the pool, some time up front in like the actual gym. So it was like the best job. And also, I worked with like all old people, so they
Yeah.
loved that I was like real into it because they were not into it. Like they did not give a shit. They were just there to make money.
Really?
And they're like, "Oh, this kid, he loves this." So they like really encouraged me to like prioritize training and like letting me walk across the street to go to the commissary to get all my protein and whatever. Like they were very supportive. And then that's actually
Awesome.
where I transitioned. So I made the flip from being, identifying as like a lesbian, the only lesbian in town, to identifying as the only trans guy in town. So that was it was weird, dude. But they handled it well. I was actually very surprised. My hometown handled it well.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna ask. Is that something? Because my thought was that it was usually like conservative, Republican leaning Alaska, but at the same time, it's like we kind of mind our own business. How? I mean, take me through like I'm trans. I realize that I'm trans, and now I need to come out in a small town in Alaska.
Right. Well, I actually I showed signs of like something, like very, very young. I was like 3 or 4. My mom would like ask me weird questions like, "Do you want to be a boy?" Like stuff like that, and like I just like what, it's weird. But when we moved to Alaska, we were very isolated. We didn't have internet. I didn't have internet access. I didn't get a phone till I was like probably like 16, 17. So I didn't have like a lot of like what society likes to say that we're like groomed and shit. Like I didn't have any of that. I didn't have anybody in my ear telling me that this was like even a thing. I didn't even know what trans was. So yeah, I didn't
So
really
not many
discover it till
influences.
what was that?
Not many influences, outside influences.
Yeah, right. And it was I think it was what the heck's that guy's name? I found him on YouTube. It was like Uppercase Chase. I don't know if you guys ever watched him. Something else. He's quite the character. Don't worry about it. But
Hang on, I'm writing his name down to look it up
don't worry
later.
about it. Don't look into archives. But he was pretty influential eventually, but it was more of like an educational thing. Because he used to do like Packer reviews or something. And I was like, what the hell is a Packer?
Ah,
And then I realized I was like, oh, this dude used to be a woman. And I was like mind blown,
yeah.
and I didn't even know that was a thing that you could do. And then I told my mom I was I think I was like 16. I was like, yo, I think this is me. But I was very mature about it. I was like, I'll just wait till I'm 18 to deal with all this. I didn't have like I was pretty like lucky to have like a pretty flat chest my whole life, and I was always mistaken as the boy no matter what. Like even during like games or track. A crazy story I like to tell is when I was on the girls track team. I think I was like 16, 15. The race, we're all lined up for the race. The gun goes off. I take off running. Next thing I know, I'm running, but my legs aren't going anywhere. They're like running in air because the security guard grabbed me and he's like, "This is the girls' race," and I was like, "I know, you dumbass." Like, let go. So yeah, I like pushed him off. Yeah, and I went for my run. I got last place, and my coach was like, "Hey,"
Shit.
he's like, "Next time, don't cuss at the guy, but I'm proud of you." So that happened my whole high school career. Like it happened all the time. I mean, that was the
That's
worst of it. Like
crazy.
getting like legit like grabbed by security. That was crazy. But I mean,
Yeah.
even like when we would go into like a school to sleep overnight with the girls for basketball, I'd be in the back like holding my bag, and they would think that I'm like the bag boy that's like bringing all the girls' bags in. They're like, "Oh, thank you, sir, for bringing all
Oh,
the
no.
bags in." I'm like, "No, dude, I'm sleeping over too." So it
Yeah.
was just a weird thing, and I honestly didn't face much adversity in town unless I was dating a girl, because that's when the parents will start to like voice their opinions. People liked me though. Like when I was a kid, I'd go over to their houses and hang out. get invited for holidays and stuff. But the second that they found out that like, oh, you like my daughter, my daughter likes you back, that's when it started to get crazy. So I've had
We're all like
some
Scott
run-ins
shaking
with
his head too.
moms for sure. Yeah.
That's it, man. They love you until it's like, oh, you're dating my daughter.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
I
right.
fucking hate you.
Yup.
Like you're a horrific
Right.
person.
And I had the
Shit,
worst
man.
fucking like decision making when it came to picking girls because it was always like the girl with the most problematic parents, you know. Like I dated my whole high school. I dated my high school sweetheart. Her mom was the school librarian, and I had to see her at homeroom every day because we had homeroom in the library, and that was her mom. She fucking hated me, dude. She wrote me an email about how
Dude.
much she hated me. And yeah, she wrote
Oh
me an
my
email about how I ruined
God.
her daughter's future, essentially. And
And
yeah,
did
crazy
you?
stuff like that, man. Or I dated another girl whose family was like really, really they were like really involved in the Catholic Church. So
Oh God.
I went to her Catholic church. I'm not religious by any means, but I went to her church with her for 5 years before we started dating. We were just friends, and then we started dating, and her parents like cut her off. They wouldn't talk to her. They didn't talk to her for 2 years. So, and then we broke up, and now she's like married to a man, and all this shit. Like it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Ain't that how it
The
goes?
parents hate me though. Yeah.
It,
So
it's crazy how, like, when we talk about our past experiences as trans folks, like most of ours line up pretty much
Yeah.
exactly. When I was dating this chick in high school, her parents hated me. And I was like, I did nothing. I'm treating her with respect and with dignity and all this. And it's like, why do you hate me? What is going on? And come to find out, because I was out at the time, they hated me because I was trans. And I was just like, nice.
Fucking
yeah,
strange,
it's
right? They'd
crazy.
rather their daughter be with a dickhead
It
dude,
is.
like cis dude, than like
Right.
a trans dude or a
Right.
lesbian that treats them well. That
It's
that needs to
crazy,
be
Right.
dude.
unpacked
Honestly,
And
realistically.
it's mind boggling.
it's crazy to me too. When you throw the religious aspect into it too, it's like these parents are like out here talking about loving people unconditionally and accept Jesus into your heart, blah blah blah, and love thy neighbor, blah blah blah. And the second that the second it meets your doorstep, you're like, oof, it's okay for you to do it over there, just not over here in my house.
Literally.
I actually the girl I dated in college, we were, like I said, we were friends for a few years beforehand, and I would sleep over at her house all the time. And this is before we showed any interest in each other. Like I said, I had a high school sweetheart. I was a year older than the girl that I dated in college. So I would sleep over at her house, have dinner, because I had like a pretty troubled childhood. So I would stay at her house and avoid mine. And her parents, like, they loved me, dude. They let me have a room. I never slept in it, but they gave me a room. They gave me like a drawer for clothes and all that stuff. And and again, whenever they found out that I was dating their kid, instead of like having an adult conversation or like trying to figure out, like, I understand them maybe being upset because we had lied. We kept it a secret for a bit, but the fact that we felt we had to keep it a secret should be something that the parents, I feel like, should have been, like, wow, maybe this
Mhm.
is on us. Like, we didn't make them feel safe. So yeah, they negated all responsibility, and then they kicked me out, like, and told me never to come back to their house. They told her she had to move out if she wanted to date me. And she was, I think, 17, so she moved in with her friend, and then that way we could date. It was crazy, it was stupid too, because I'm like, we're kids, like, shouldn't be having to do all that as a kid. But yeah, it was wild, man. And then in college, crazy enough too, we ended up going to school at the same time because I took a year off, and they put us in the same dorm room, and it was not on purpose. It was like random. They randomly put us in the same dorm room. Her mom calls the college
Yes.
complaining to them to get me
No
moved, and they moved
shit.
me right next door. So I was like, "What did you didn't even do anything? Like, we're just sleeping in each other's room every night anyway." It was so
That's
dumb.
fucking hilarious.
Dude.
But her dad actually assaulted me at a basketball game in front of our entire town. Which was also kind of
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Yeah, he's crazy. And the crazy thing too, come to find out, there was like this underlying secret within the family that they were like swingers and all this stuff that's like super
Always.
hypocritical.
Always.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that doesn't follow your standards that you've set for your beliefs, and then now all of a sudden you're like doing all this stuff behind the scenes. But yeah, I was at a basketball game because she was, like I said, a year behind me. So I was out of school, and she was still in school. So I go see her basketball game, and I went to go to like concessions or something, and he comes over to me, grabs me, like pushes me up against the wall, and starts like saying all kinds of crap to me, like stay away from my family, blah blah blah. And the whole town's just like watching this happen. It was crazy. And also, they are all super well known.
Nobody stepped in.
No, no, nope, not my town, man. See, that's the thing about my town. I love how close we all are. Like, if you need help, they will help you. Like, I had people paying for my textbooks when I went to college, and like helping me get to school. So there is support. There are people who like love me there, but also everybody's in your business. Everybody knows everybody's bullshit. Everybody's sleeping with everybody. Like, it's just messy. It's just because it's so small. My graduating class was like 46 people, so it was very small. And then we had like 2,000 people in our whole town. So yeah, it's like everybody knows your business, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. And we have all types of people. You know, you got conservative people, majority, and then you have your fair share of like more liberal leaning people, which is, I feel like those are like the potheads. You know what I mean? Like all the cool stoner kids are the liberals, and then you know, all the little preppy girls and stuff were like the churchgoers and all that stuff. You know, so but we were all still like forced to integrate. So that's what was also weird. It's like no cliques because it was too small. So you had like a cesspool of like difference.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like it's not like New York where it's like different shit everywhere and it's such a big space. It's a small space with a bunch of compacted different people. It's like a
Right.
social experiment. Like it
Right.
really, I'm thinking of like your
Yeah, it's
mental
interesting.
health, all like everything, like being isolated, no sunlight, conservatives, like holy shit. Like this is a fucking escape room. Alaska is an escape room. Holy
Well, I
shit.
got out,
Yeah,
so
no
I guess
shit.
I
That's what
did
it
it.
sounds like. Holy shit.
Yeah, it only took 10 years
So
to get out of it, but
do you ever, because I look back on, and I don't know if you do too, Scott, I look back on like fucked up relationships that I had, and maybe even the relationship wasn't fucked up, but like horrific things that parents said to me when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, and a 40-year-old should not be saying this to a, I mean, I was a girl at the time, whatever. Do you, and I go back and I look at that now that I have a daughter who's 11 and I'm a 34-year-old man. Do you ever look back at those really horrific like things that had happened with people and tell yourself like this should not have happened and this was something that happened when I was being shaped into the person I am now? Or is it just, oh, that's just how it was, that was my town?
right. Well, I think it's kind of like a combination of both, I guess. You know, like it is what it is. Like there's no changing it type of thing. But I also believe that karma's a bitch. You know what I mean? So I think that I'm just gonna keep doing good stuff, and good things will happen eventually. Versus those people who want to do those things, and I feel like that causes them more turmoil than anything. Like I was able to let it just roll off my back. Those people had ruined relationships with their own kids and will have to live with the consequences forever. And I just get to move on and be done with it. Like I don't let it bother me. I also come from just like a very unique family situation. So it's like it's easy for me to be like, it's not that important because there's other shit that I've dealt with that I feel like is worse. Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's I don't know. Maybe that's my trauma talking, and I'm just like used to it. But I don't let it bother me now. I don't ever like sit back on it and go, "Wow, that was like super messed up." It's only until I'm like telling a story about it, and someone's like, "Whoa," and I'm like, "Oh, I guess that's pretty horrible." I don't really realize it until it comes out of my mouth.
Yeah, I was curious. I mean, that's, I
No.
like what you said because I'm the opposite, man. I'm still sitting with shit that where I'm like, that motherfucker did me wrong, and like, and it's not. I mean, I'm working through it like in therapy and shit, but it is, I guess, interesting to see the other perspective. I love what you said, where you say, I don't have to live with it. I've moved on with it. Like these people are still going to be horrific people until they change, if they change. And that's such a good way. I'm so
Right.
glad you said that because that's such a good way to look at it. Is whatever, man, you did me wrong, but like I've moved on and you need to go deal with whatever it is.
Right. I
Yeah.
do. I do
And I
feel for
also
the
agree with
daughters.
Blaine. Like, karma is a bitch.
Right, that too.
I do that too. Yes,
Yeah, I feel for the daughters because
like the
I
big
know
thing,
that
karma.
like the girls that I dated were like they weren't all perfect by any means. But I don't think anybody deserves to have their parent not like love them unconditionally or have like like here's circumstances around the love that I'm willing to give you. I feel like, and I'm sure you could relate having a kid, but I feel like you shouldn't have a child unless you're prepared for literally anything that they might either become. I mean, you got people who like just to make it like dramatized here, but you got people who like their kids like killed somebody, and these parents still love their children because they know that like just sometimes what you do doesn't mean who you are, and people make mistakes, yada yada. But I feel like like when it comes to like sexuality and gender and stuff, those are things that like we can't control, and I don't feel like you should be suppressing anything for a child. It I don't know. And then they feel all this shame rather than just letting them figure it out. And then maybe it's not for them and then they'll back away from it. Or you're just gonna shame them into it more and or shame them into like secrets and shit like that too. Like
Yes.
that's where one of my exes, the one whose dad like assaulted me at that game, I do think that she's a lesbian because when we were together and I had this was like right when I was like, okay, I think the transition stuff needs to start happening for me. Um, I could just tell she wasn't like into it. Like I hadn't like started medically transitioning or anything, but I started like experimenting with like my name. I started going by my last name in college just to try it out, stuff like that. Um, and I could just tell that she just wasn't like feeling that. And then when we broke up, she went back to her parents, and then now she's married to a man. And based off of all the experiences I've had with her and how I know her well, or at least I knew her well, for her to be with a man to me was just weird, and now she's married, so she's really committed, and she's Catholic, so she's not taking that back. She's like very devout. That was one of the things about her that I wasn't a huge fan of because she's like super devout Catholic, and I'm again I'm not religious or anything like that, but yeah, I do feel like she had to sell a bit of herself short to be able to get the love from her parents that she wanted. So she's like, what's more important to me, like living authenticity or like having my parents love me? Like, I don't think you should have to
Mm,
choose, but she chose. And I feel for her. I feel really bad for her.
yeah.
No, you should be able to accept not only just have your parents' love, but you should also be able to live your life as authentically as possible. I mean, I think most people, trans or cis, struggle with that.
Right.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I don't know what it is, but I don't have a problem like writing somebody off. And it's not because I don't care, but it's also because I just like it took me a long time to like learn how to love myself and become who I am. So if somebody is like not okay with that, then I'm like, okay, cool. Then I guess like we're done. So like if it even if it was my mom, which it wouldn't. My mom loves me, she supports me, and it's awesome. But even if my mom all of a sudden was like, yo, I'm hardcore into this Trump stuff and I really believe in this and I don't support you and blah 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 blah, then I'd be like, all right, well, I guess we're done talking because I got nothing else to say. Like
Yeah.
I have no problem drawing a line, and it took me a long time to be able to set boundaries like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna go back. I'm not trying to like ever go back to that where I don't have those boundaries set for myself.
Good. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we just
Good.
got deep, dude.
I feel like,
No,
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
this.
I feel like boundaries are, I feel
What were we
like
saying, Scott?
boundaries, especially when it comes to our self, I think boundaries, especially when it comes to like self love and shit, is a form of self love because you have to be able to say, no, I'm not going to accept this in my life. I need you to go away. That is protecting your inner peace and protecting your mental health. So no, I definitely get it. I struggle with setting boundaries when it comes to certain people in my life. So good on you.
Where I struggle, like don't get it twisted. I struggle when it comes to a girl. It's always a girl, dude. Like that is my weakness. Like if a girl wants to cross my boundaries, she's stomping all over them. But if it's like
Literally.
like an authority figure, like a parent or an uncle, I'm like, all right, peace out. I don't care. I just
Yeah.
have this weird disconnect, I think, with like family. So I try to make my own family. So with girls or romantic partners, I should say, like it's easier for me to let them walk all over those boundaries at times because I'm like, okay, like I feel like I almost need this because this is my form of family versus like my other like family members like aunts and uncles and stuff. I'm so detached from them, so it's easy to write it off. So that's another form. Like if I'm emotionally invested, it is harder for me to maintain the boundaries. That's for sure.
Dude, if you see me like staring off and it looks like I'm zoning out, I'm literally like processing everything you're saying because I mean, this is like some real ass shit, like what you just like casually said, where you're like, I don't have like a sense of family, so I'm hanging on to this really, really, really tight. And I see a lot of that. I mean, obviously not talking about your current relationship, but in the queer and the trans community is like, I found this woman and she respects my pronouns. I'm never leaving. Like, and you just like dig your fucking heels in because everybody else you were with
Right.
said, fuck you, you're trans. I don't want anything to do with you. And it's like, you don't know what you need and what you want because you've never gotten it. And now somebody's doing something like she doesn't yell at me when we get into an argument. So I'm staying. But like, she's also a piece of shit. Like, and you saying that of like, I didn't have a family, I don't have a tribe, anyone. And like, now I'm bound to this person is such a scary, vulnerable, dangerous thing. Because for trans people,
Yeah.
it's not like a lot of cis people where it doesn't work out and you go back home to your family. Like your family's already, if they've written you off, that's it.
Right. Yeah, I never thought about that because like you hear that all the time, like, oh, she moved back in with her parents while she's going through this breakup or whatever. Like having that support system. Like for me, it's always been like kind of fend for yourself type of thing. So if I was to like step like my relationship now, solid. Relationships before, I would hang on to them so tightly because I had nowhere else to go to. We were so codependent, not only on just like the emotional aspect of it, like not having family and things like that, but also like the financial part of it. Like the queer community is so burdened by just the poverty, So it's like I relied on this person too. Like we pay our bills are together, like we are paying things together. We have this, we have that. Um, so yeah, that's another aspect of it that I never thought about it till you said that. Like having somebody to kind of go home to help you if you need it. Like I definitely don't have that.
Yeah.
And even if I did, I love my mother, but I don't think I ever could go live with my mom. Ugh, I don't think so. That's not happening.
Like for our relationship, like I have a good relationship with my mother too, but I think if I moved back in with her, it wouldn't be as good, and I don't want that. Like she's older, I'm older. I don't want to, you know, here I am. Like it
Yeah.
just, yeah, and it gets scarier as you get older because, like, you approach your 30s, your 40s, whatever, and then yeah, it's scary. And
Yeah.
you do have to set those boundaries. And I
Oh,
see a lot of crazy shit in these groups that I'm in, man, where these people, these guys like us don't set boundaries. And they get one person that's nice to
Yeah,
them, that respects them, and they're like, I'm locked in. I'm never leaving. This is it.
right. Also, like,
that may or may not be me right now.
oh
Huh?
no,
What the
oh no.
Yeah.
Delete the
Wait, didn't you
clip.
just start dating someone?
We all know it's my girlfriend. Come on, let's be honest.
Oh no.
Dude.
Just gonna sip my drink here.
No, but to pivot, like most of us do have good relationships with our mothers and parents and shit like that. And then I'm on the other hand, I do not. I I do not have a good relationship with my mother. Me and Jody, we've talked previously on the trauma that is that. Um, and then my father, he just is a piece of shit, and I'll say it from the rooftops. He's just a fucking sperm donor at the end of the day. Um, that man hasn't even told his wife that I exist. So
That's crazy, dude. I
yeah,
relate to that, sadly. I
yeah,
feel like a lot of people relate to the dad situation. But,
yeah.
no, I found out.
And it's unfortunate too because
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you're good.
I was just gonna say similar to what you were saying, like where his wife doesn't even know that you exist. Like I've seen my dad. I think I don't know, like twice since I was like 8, and it was always horrible. Like I never should have seen him after after that. But I had my last name is very unique. Like there's not a lot of people that have my last name. So if you have it on like social media or something, most of the time you're going to be related to me. So I got like this random friend request from somebody with my last name and found out that it was like my great aunt. And she wanted to call me. She wanted to talk to me. She's like, oh my gosh, why do you? She's like, you look just like my, my nephew, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, well, that's my
Oh
dad,
my God.
And she's like, holy crap. She didn't even know her nephew had a kid or had 2 kids because
Oh my
I
God.
have an older brother too, and he has 2 daughters now that are like really young, and I talked to her on the phone. She was telling me about like my culture and heritage. Because my dad's from Guam, so like she was telling me about it. I don't have like any ties to it because my mom raised me, but she was telling me all about it and stuff. And then she was like, "Yeah, I see your dad like once a week, once every other week for lunch." And I was like, "I've never come up in a conversation ever," which is crazy. Like, how do you not talk about your 2
Oh my
sons
God.
that you have, not let alone your 1 trans son? You know, that you would think that that would be something that would come up in conversation, especially when you're talking about your kids. You know, so
Yeah.
it's weird. It's a weird relationship for sure.
Did you continue the conversation with her? Did she like mention like I'm gonna tell him we talked, or did it just kind of like end there?
No, we had like a 2-hour conversation, and that was that. Really, that was the last time I talked to her, first and last. And we follow each other on social media, like on Facebook, but that's about it. Like, we don't like follow it up with anything, and I don't feel the need to, just because I've kind of written off his side of the family. When my dad bounced when we were kids, his whole family kind of did the same. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, no contact whatsoever. So I think that's part of it, of being able to like write off family easily, like on my mom's side, just because it's like it doesn't really mean a lot. Unfortunately, for me, uh, the tightest unit I have in my like circle is my mother, my brother, and my sister, and we're like just this tight little thing. But other than that, anyone outside of that, family wise, is not really that sadly important to me. Like my grandmother passed away, my dad's mom, and I wanted to be sad about it, and I messaged her before she had passed away, because she really like knew she was gonna pass. So I texted her because I didn't know what to say. I wasn't gonna call her or anything like that. I was like, I'm just gonna send her a text just because I know I'm a better person here, and I want to say my piece, you know. And so, I told her I loved her, even though again I don't know how much truth is really behind that necessarily, but to some degree, I guess I loved her what I remember of her, and I was like, I wish we would have talked more, you know. And she replied, said she loved me, and she said, "Yeah, I really wish I would have called you more too, or reached out to you." But that was it. That was our last interaction with each other, and she passed away the next day, and that was that. I didn't shed a tear. I couldn't get emotional. It was really weird. The absence of being sad when you want to be sad is weird. It's like a very gray feeling, But yeah, it was weird because a lot of it was like um, it's like a combination of feelings that I have about family too. It's like I feel like one, they don't. I'm like, why don't you guys love me? But also, I always tie it back to like being queer. I'm like, is it because of this? Even though I know it's not. It's like this like insecurity in my head that I'm like trying to like find reasons why people don't give a shit. And I feel like it always goes down to like me feeling insecure about just being a trans person. So I
Are you
struggle with that a
frozen?
little bit as well when it
Blaine's
comes
frozen
to
on
the
mine. Hang
family
on.
thing.
Maybe. Is he frozen?
Wait, sorry, it's cutting
Blaine?
out a little bit. I can't hear you.
Hang on. He's moving.
Can y'all hear me?
What? Maybe.
Okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear
we're
you.
good.
God, why does it
You can
always
hear me?
cut out
Okay.
at like the deepest shit? I swear it always does this
No,
shit.
you're good. You're good. Don't even worry about it. I was like, "Are you guys
Fucking
here?"
shit, dude. You're like, was that too
And there's
much
nobody in
trauma?
my house.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh damn, I trauma dumped."
Honestly, it probably what happened because Riverside records each individual and then it comes together. So probably what happened is that it's still recording and uploading on your end, but we can't hear it. So when I go into post production, I'll be like, "Oh shit, I can actually hear this."
Yeah,
Okay, good. Well, tell me
classic.
how it is later.
I
I'll have to make a
I've said
note.
it. I've said it on one podcast, and I have to say it again because I wasn't really in the queer community. Like I was mask lesbian, and then I transitioned, whatever. And like I didn't get a lot of shit from people, and I've always been close to my family. And I'm hearing queer people tell these stories over and over again of like he wasn't in my life, and so I just wrote him off, and I have like a visceral reaction to it because I've been following you on Instagram for a while now, and it just like you're unloading all this stuff, and I'm like, holy shit! Like this guy's been just carrying all this shit, and I don't know. You're so stoic about it, and even Scott, when Scott talks about stuff like this, and I think that it would have already broken me as a person, and I would not be even half as like nice and genuine as I am now. And you're such just like a genuine, well-spoken, great dude. And I don't know, I hate hearing this of like the childhood of questioning because there was times when my dad wasn't involved and I would question like, is this me? Like, is it something I did that I don't like that he doesn't want to be around or like whatever else? And I can't imagine carrying that for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades. And I
Yeah,
hate
well,
again what your grandma had actually said to you, where she said, "I wish I would have reached out more." I absolutely hate that because it's not the kid's
yeah, no,
responsibility to reach out to their family, and it is
right,
always the whoever they should have done that. And I'm saying that to you, and I'm saying that to Scott and anybody else who listens is like I see that in the queer community where I reached out and I did this and I kept reaching out and they finally responded and it was never it should have never been on you to do that ever. And it's incredible that you did. And I mean, I'm glad she responded, but
So
I hate it, man.
yeah. Well, I appreciate that, man. I do. Thank you for saying
yeah,
that.
yeah, I'll bounce off of that too. So their actions are never a reflection of you; it's always a reflection of them as people, and that's something that I've had to learn um, because I'll just take dating for prime example. Like as soon as I tell somebody that I'm trans, they pretty much ghost me. And it's not a reflection of me as a person, it's a reflection of them. So that's something that I've had to unpack in therapy and I've had to learn and accept. It's like, okay, cool. I'm whole as a person. I'm good. Like who I am and my self-worth, I'm perfect, right? But if they're not willing to sit here and accept me as a person, let alone me as being trans. It's like, what else are you not willing to accept? What other unhealed traumas in your life is still present in your dating? You know,
Right.
right? Or just
Yeah.
like not just dating, but also like in your life in general.
You know,
Yeah,
I actually dated a girl who I feel like was okay with me being trans, but wasn't at the same time. Like she was like okay with it, but publicly wanted it to be like a secret. So, like, kind of what
Mm,
you said, Jody, about like not being a part of the queer community, like that's definitely me. Because being in Alaska, like again, I was like the only person, so I think that's why I got so much acceptance. Because they were like, "Oh, it's just Blaine," you know, like we'll accept Blaine because it's just like a one off, you know. So he's part of the
yeah.
family, so we'll just deal with it. You know what I mean? So I wasn't ever a part of the queer community, um, but I dated this girl, and we were like we were great. There was nothing really wrong with our relationship other than this like once we moved to Texas, there was like a huge queer community here, and I had met some people I wanted to like hang out with, and I was like, "Hey, I met this dude, and he wants to come over and swim at the pool." You know, so I showed her a picture, his Instagram, or whatever. And I don't have scars. I actually, when her and I were dating, I didn't have top surgery either, but I had such a small chest and I worked out a lot that it didn't. I just wore no shirt to the pool. Very lucky, but he had like pretty noticeable scars, and she was like, I don't really want him to come over to the pool because she didn't want people to see his scars because she knew that people would see and they would know that he was a trans person. And I'm like,
Oh no.
that like gave me the ick, you know? I was like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? Like, you're worried about somebody else being trans, or are you worried about me being trans? Or are you worried about you being associated to trans people? Like, because there's a lot to unpack
Right.
here. You know? When I was dating her, I feel like I kind of morphed into like this weird character of like your typical bro of like what is a cis bro supposed to be. When I was with her, I just didn't feel 100% myself. And now, like being with the girl that I'm with now, she's incredible. She's very loving, very accepting of who I am. When I started dating her, I started to get very, very like feminine about a lot of things, and I love that about myself. It took me a long time to be cool with the long hair, to be cool with painting my nails or having dangly earrings or whatever the case may be. every now and then I'll put on one of her shirts and come out like just to be goofy. Like you would never catch me dead doing that with my ex, because I don't want her to look at me and see me as less masculine. Versus with my girlfriend now, I know she loves the masculine parts of me and the feminine parts of me, and I do too. And so she really allowed me to like grow into that. So because of my girlfriend, I would say that I've actually become a lot more comfortable in my skin and like learning that I don't have to be this like macho bro. That was like I also felt like I was super fucking angry all the time when I was trying to do that. I was like
Yes.
suppressing a lot of myself, and it just came out as like aggression and just like this total douchebag. And so now, and also gym culture doesn't help. Gym culture is like, at least where I was at the time in Washington, I was working with these like cis buff ass like professional bodybuilder dudes, and they wanted me to be like them. We were like dry scooping pre workout and like just talking about girls and all this stupid shit. And I don't know, dude. It was just toxic and gross, like the way I was acting. And then I look back on those moments, I'm like, damn, I was not even myself yet. Like I thought I had transitioned, but I didn't. I was like this completely different thing that I never saw myself as. So now I feel like I've like finally reached my final form. You know what I mean? Like now I feel like I'm comfortable as myself.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Fuck, that was real, man. That was some real shit because I did the same shit where I was like, gotta be masculine because all the chicks on Instagram, even though I have a wife, are like, we like masculine dudes. Not every chick is into that shit. And the chicks that are like, you have to be like a buff, masculine man of man, they're scary anyway, and I don't want anything to do with them. Like the chicks that I like are gentle women who like gentle men. Like you don't have to be. And honestly, my daughter wants me to paint my nails so bad, and I have these like inflections of my childhood when my mom would make me paint my nails, and I would like go and like rip it off, and I hated it, and now I'm like, well, dudes are doing it and dudes are wearing short shorts. Like, fuck, maybe I will put on some short shorts and paint my nails. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I feel
Put the
confident
short
in my
shorts on.
manhood now that I can do it. But when I was
Hell
female,
yeah.
hell no. Like, hell no. So I love that
Right.
you said that. Love it.
That's interesting. I never thought about like what I wore. Like my clothes were like dog shit when I was like identifying as a woman. I was like, dude. I look back at photos. I'm like, what
Did
the
you
fuck was I wearing? Like,
you
not a
you
bit of it
dressed
had
feminine?
swag. What was that?
You dress feminine or you dress like masculine when you were
No, I dressed masculine. I dressed masculine my whole life, which is kind of like one of the. It's kind of sucks sometimes because I'm like I want to do like one of those like before and afters where I'm like, yo, look at this crazy transformation. But I'm like, I look the same. I look the same, but just like better clothes. Um,
Yeah.
but I just dressed like an idiot. I don't know. I think I was just wearing like the baggiest shit stuff or stuff that would just like hide everything about me. Um, and also being in Alaska, you're like always wearing a fucking coat anyways. It doesn't matter. But just like hoodies and jeans, but nothing like. It always looked like I was so out of place and so uncomfortable. And then like I would dye my hair or cut my hair weird and shit. And I'm like, why? Why was I doing that? I didn't even like that. Like I look back on it, like I
Yeah.
know I hated that haircut, and I had it. So I think I was just trying to like fit into some mold or something. I looked like little Justin Bieber in high school. It was horrible.
Same. Dude. Yes, Scott, didn't you go through some weird, I'm gonna dye my hair blonde and like do all this other I dyed my hair blonde once and that was a mistake. But yeah, I've done the weird shit is like I'd almost rather stand out so people can say you
Yeah.
look weird with blonde hair instead of saying like you look like a dude and you might be like if I can have a tangible thing for somebody else to go
Right.
after, they won't get into like who I actually am and they'll stay off of it. And I think I was subconsciously doing that shit. Like dressing really weird and like doing weird shit with my hair is like, yeah, that's safer.
Yeah.
I was not the type of person to do weird shit. 'Cause I started my social transition when I was 10, and then I started my medical transition at 24. So, like, I'd always identified with the masculinity side. So, like, I've always worked on cars, I've always wanted to lift weights, I always wanted to be masculine, that gym bro shit. And now I am. So I'm just like, man, whatever.
You seem
So I've never
content. I like
really
that.
I'm very content. I am. And I've never had the want or the need to dress feminine or to paint my nails or to dye my hair. I've never had that need. Maybe if I have a little girl and she's like, Dad, can I paint your toenails? Then I'll be like, all right, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think it also goes into just like what style you're into. Like what's your, you know, and I think it plays into like what are your interests too, like the femininity side of it. Like for example, like you got like people like MGK, you know, like he's a dude, but he's like a bit more feminine. Like he does his hair crazy, he paints his nails. For me, that style of music and that like just that vibe in general, that's like what I lean towards. So I think it boils down to that. Like for me, painting my nails is like being the skater boy I always wanted to be. Because for me, I didn't grow up wanting to be like a gym bro. I just ended up being in that world later on. But I always was like, oh, I want to be with the skater kids. You know, I want to be like that guy. My brother, having an older brother, makes it also very challenging because my brother was that guy. You know, he's like 6'2", skinny guy that does skateboarding and had like long hair and like wore all black and was in a band and all the shit. So just I feel like that's a lot of it as well for me is like always wanting to be a part of that, but never feeling fully allowed to be a part of that because I was his sister at the time and I wasn't allowed. You know what I mean? So I feel like it was always, that was another thing too. Growing up, I feel like my brother and I were always. I know he wasn't in competition with me, but I was in competition with him. You know, like as a trans person, figuring that out. But crazy enough, like this is actually a crazy ass plot twist of a story. But my whole life, I would go to his room and steal his shit. You know, I'd like take his clothes, I'd take his boxers or whatever. I just wear all his stuff. And then like 10 years later, when I moved in with my brother, I think I was like maybe 21 at the time, and he had to have been like 24, 25. He told me that he actually likes to cross dress, and he showed me he has like this whole online persona as like as a woman, but he's not trans, he's not gay, he's not queer in any shape or form. He is just a straight cis guy that was stealing my mom's clothes while I was stealing his clothes when we were growing up.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, you say something, Scott? I didn't hear it.
Dude, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, it was quite the plot twist because also I was a little pissed off though. I was like, bro, I came out as trans and you couldn't like share this with me. You know what I mean? Like you just let me go through that shit alone.
Really?
You just like let me think I was a weirdo by myself. But yeah, it was
Do
crazy.
so that experience then, because my wife and I talk about this all the time, and I think Scott and I have talked about it. I think that most cisgender dudes are fucking gay. And it's just, if we were in a place where you could like be super feminine and nobody would like threaten your life, I think a lot more dudes would be hanging out with dudes and getting weird with dudes and dressing more feminine and doing all this shit. And I think that's why they're so angry all the time, is because of, I'm assuming you were totally cool and you were like, wow, like this is, who else is he going to share that with?
Oh yeah, I was super into it.
Your
I was
brother, like who
so
else could he
happy that this
possibly,
was
like
a
he
thing.
probably wants to. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it made my relationship with my brother a lot stronger too because again, I always felt this like competition with my brother. It goes like all the way back to my dad. Like my dad, when he would come visit when we were kids, he always wanted to take my brother instead of me. You know, because he wanted to have his son with him and all that stuff. So it was like competition. It felt like for me, my brother, he didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? He was going through his own stuff. So for me, it definitely helped to know that like all those years where I'm like low key like a little bit hating my brother, just being like envious of him and jealous and just angry for no reason, or misplaced anger, I should say, towards him. To find out that he had his own struggle that he was going through, it kind of just helped get rid of all of that like resentment that I had built up for my brother. And now we're like super tight. You know, my brother's probably my best friend. Like we talk all the time. If we talk on the phone, we're talking for hours, and he's my biggest supporter of like being trans. And he recently found like a religious faith that he's really into, and even in that, he's got my back like 100%. You know, which is also very rare. So he's the best. And so it took me a long time to be able to be like proud to have my brother, because a lot of the times he was like the reflection of like what I could never achieve as a trans man. And so there was a lot of resentment towards him for a long time. So now we're chill, but like I have to look back on those moments and really call myself out for being a dick to my brother.
Yeah, I wondered that because I have an older sister, but so I never had the. I always wondered what it would be like growing up with like a brother or even like a twin brother, and I'm trans and he's living as a man. Like, would I be shit? Like, I think I'd be shitty, and I think I like, and not knowing how to express it when you're a kid, like you don't know how to say I want to be a dude like my brother, and I'm annoyed that he's doing like, yeah. I'm glad you guys are good now, though. That's awesome that you could come back around and later in life.
Yeah, we're really tight, which is awesome. But I have like these moments of like flashbacks of like when you like you're going back to school and you get like the back to school shopping and your mom gets your clothes or whatever. My mom would always give me these ugly ass like girly clothes. She stopped trying to dress me up at probably like sixth grade. She realized that there was no point because I
Yep.
was just gonna sneak my clothes to school. So, but still in that time frame, she was like dressing me up, trying to have me wear girly shit. And it was the worst time of the year for me. I would cry every time that she would like bring me stuff. And then I'd look at my brother, just be like, "Oh, I love this, sick," like getting some cool shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"This fucker, like, I hate this guy." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hated that guy, and it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
It also really is my mom's fault because how could you not see that like something's like giving me like a visceral reaction? Like I'm literally sobbing when you're giving me something I have to wear. I feel like it's messed up. Like you could meet me in the middle. Like we didn't have to have like rainbows and butterflies on my shirt. We could have had just like a neutral color. It could have been a girl shirt, but like meet me
Yeah.
in the middle, man. So I think yeah, it was pretty tough for me. There's like that resentment mixed with the dad stuff. But when you said the twin thing though, it makes me think of this trans guy who's on the internet. I don't remember what his like Instagram handle is or anything, but you guys might have seen him. He's like in the fitness world. He's a young kid. He's like 21, 22. But his sister is an identical twin. And I always wonder, like, do you get this like dysphoria every time you see your sister because you're like looking at like yourself from the
Oh
past?
my God.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I feel like that would
How does
mind
that
fuck
work
me
for
all the time
twins?
because you're just seeing yourself in like as like a female,
Yeah.
right? You're like they're identical.
And then
So
I
like
think that would
people,
be mind-boggling.
yeah, right. It'd be weird.
yeah, shoot, yeah. They'd be
Oh
like, I
yeah, and
thought
then
you
people know what you look
transitioned.
like.
And it's
That's
his
another thing.
sister.
Like if you wanted to keep it private, right? Because some people, yeah,
Yeah.
some people are like want to keep it private. They don't want to share like their old photos and stuff. Like you have no choice.
And then
Like the
here's your,
second you see you're like taking a picture with your sister, like, oh, that was what you used to look like. It's crazy. Yeah, no, I don't think I could do the
we
twin
got to get
thing.
a twin transport. We got to find this person. Then we got to get these questions answered.
Find the
Like,
twin.
what's it like
Yeah,
then?
there you go.
Find the twin. Dude, wow. This holy shit, man. We cracked into a lot and we got fucking deep. I came into this completely blind because I mean I know what I know from following you, but I wanted to get into like Blaine and this dude, you blew my mind like every 5 minutes. like with another like with another thing. That's crazy. Shit.
It's so funny though, because I like have like notes. Like I was like, what am I gonna talk about? I have like all these notes right now. I was like, I haven't talked about a
Same.
damn thing on
Yeah.
this on this list. But no, I'm glad it felt like very authentic. Sorry if I like really got real deep in there a couple of times, but you guys make it a safe
No,
place,
No,
so
we
no.
I
love it.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
No,
that's
we love it, man.
the whole purpose behind the podcast. We want you to, yeah, we want you to come in, have an open mind, and don't want this to feel like an interview at all. We always want it to be genuine, good conversation. And like you have your notes, I have the PDF file that I sent you earlier, just
Right.
like pulled up on my other monitor. It's like, okay, cool. Where we get sticky, we could just like ask questions. Never happens that way.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Dude, it's crazy how
Well,
our
how long have
childhoods
y'all
all
been
like
doing
mirror
this
each other.
podcast? Right.
What, like
That's true.
6 months?
I'm sorry, I was like so much is happening just now at one time.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
It's
you're
because
fine.
it's
You're fine.
been longer than 6 months.
Who's talking?
I'm asking. Hang
I
on.
think so let me pull up the Spotify actually. We dropped our first episode. Holy shit. In May.
Oh wow.
It's
When
been
was it?
almost a fucking year, dog. May.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
Here we go. We're getting better.
No, you guys are great. You guys are
Trying
great.
to.
I'll definitely shout this out. Like I definitely want to see like people in our community like doing well and like thriving, especially when it's like stuff like this, because there's too many people spinning our narrative for us. I feel like it'd be better to have the direct line of like, these are trans people, this is their experience. So I think what you guys do is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And also,
Love
I
it, man.
think like this is a singular resource for trans mask people because we do see, people out there that are just like bodybuilders and powerlifters alike, like spreading false information. Not just when it comes to fitness, but like, as you said, the narrative and people spinning it that's directly against us. So being able to tap in directly into our community and slush out the shit information and to put forth real good information and shit that is actually truthful, and then being able to also like talk deeply about our childhood traumas opens us up to be able to explore these topics better, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like in the trans mass community specifically too, it could get so toxic. Like I never realized
Yeah.
that until I got older, but the trans mask community has like, I don't know. I've always had a hard time making friends in the trans world. Like most of my friends are females,
Same.
like cis women, and my girlfriend. You
Same.
know what I mean? Like, just because in the
Yeah.
trans mask world, like,
Actually, same.
you got like, you have like all these like other like trans kids coming in too, who are like in their 20s, who I also feel like it's like they're like the fuck boys of the trans community. You know what I mean? And I just don't. I don't
Literally.
relate to that either. I have a hard time figuring out where I belong, and I also still feel like I'm like 16, so like I'm in this weird like gray area when I'm trying to figure out like
Yeah.
where are people like me, and in Austin like they have people like me, they're just like so far away, but yeah, the trans mass community specifically, at least in my experience, can be pretty toxic. A lot of people just try to put each other down to build themselves up. It's like that toxic masculinity. Maybe they just haven't like gotten to that growth stage yet where they realize like that anger doesn't have to belong there anymore. Like you could let that shit go.
Yeah.
They're trying to prove something still. So you have like these youngins that are coming in on social media that are just like doing what I was doing, like I'm a cis guy, you know what I mean? Just trying to prove something.
Yeah.
But I feel like now when you're like
Gotta
a
have the
trans
last
person who's
word.
like getting your footing right, you're like, instead of trying to prove something to others, you're trying to prove something to yourself at some point. Oh, I don't know. I feel like that's where I've just kind of become a recluse in my own community. I like to just talk about what's going on, draw attention to it, but I'm not like, unfortunately, I'm not as involved in it as I'd like to be just because of that fact.
Yeah. I literally
And
could
at the
not
end
have
of the
said it
day,
better
like,
myself.
yeah, because I mean, like, I to your point, I do agree that like all the young kids that are coming in as trans people, they don't see their anger towards the world, and they are, to your point again, fuckboys of the trans community, and it fucking sucks.
Right. But also, you're like comparing yourself too. Like, I find myself comparing myself to like a 22-year-old. I'm like, okay, this is not healthy for me, So I have a hard time. You got like trans talk and stuff like that, where it's like also these unrealistic body standards of like what trans men are supposed to look like and XYZ, and then you find yourself just like comparing yourself to a 20-year-old in their prime when you're like a 30-year-old trans person, So
Yeah.
I feel like also trans men are always
Literally,
trying to relive their high school years or something. We're all like trying to relive what it was like to be 16. So we're so far behind. I feel
cis
like a
dudes
20-year-old.
do that too.
Right. Right. That's true. That's true. But I feel like we're on it. Like we're definitely
Yeah.
on it.
Especially like the gym culture. Back in my day when I was in high school, I could bench 405. Okay, Grandpa.
Right.
I'll show it's like, okay, Grandpa.
I agree. I'm glad you said it. Yeah, that's how I feel because I do get on there and I mean, come on, dude, I'm a fucking middle-aged dad and I'm on here looking at like some 22-year-old kid that hasn't slept in 3 days and they're dry scooping pre-workout and like
Right.
blasting this music as they take off from the gym parking lot and I'm like, God, my fucking back
Yeah.
hurts.
Right.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Shit, my back's been hurting for the last 3 days, man. I know what that means.
Yeah, no, my back's been hurting for like the past 3 years.
Oh.
It's just in you now. Back pain is just
Right.
permanent.
I'm just used to the pain.
Yeah. Love it, dude. Real quick,
Yeah.
tell me where where can people find you? Where can people donate to your GoFundMe? What are you working on? Everything. Lay it out, because I
Okay.
know people are really gonna wanna get to know you after this.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Well, things I'm working. I'll start there. I'm working on getting shirts together. I really want to do something that's like for the trans community, like it represents the trans community, but it's not like super out there. Like I've never been that like rainbow flag guy. I'm more of like
Yeah.
like we got my Kill Crew shirt on. You know what I mean? Like I want something that's like a metal vibe. So it's taking me some time. I'm trying to get all the things situated so it's perfect. But I am going to be doing some shirts so that way that can go towards me getting out of here. I don't want to just ask for donations. I'd like to have people at least get something back for it. So doing like a shirt or something is going to be where I start. As for where you can find me, Instagram, my handle's at name_is_Blaine. Super easy to remember. Name is Blaine. And my link to my GoFundMe is in the bio. So if you can donate, amazing. If you can't, that's fine. Just show some love, say hi, whatever. That's all I need.
Yeah. Let's get this man to France. Come on.
Yeah, please, please get me out of here,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Get me out of here.
Love it, man.
Yeah, I had to make
So
sure
I
the
already,
podcast is following.
yeah, and I already, Scott will say, we got to have you back for another episode, man. You're awesome. Before you leave, hopefully,
Hell yeah.
reconvene, because what you said,
Yeah,
August
hopefully
is
I'll
the
have a better
tentative.
update for you guys.
Awesome. Love it, man.
Yeah, August.
Cool.
August.
Anything
8
else you
months
want to throw
from
at
now.
us? Throw at everybody else. This has been awesome, dude.
I mean, y'all are great. I appreciate you guys having me on. This is something I've actually been wanting to do myself for a while, so I appreciate you guys letting me have this is a good first experience for sure. So I'll definitely be back if you guys will have me. And any trans people out there that are going through some shit, you guys know where to find me. You guys know where to find Scott and Jody. Reach out to us because I want everybody feeling good and staying safe. So that's it.
All right, boys.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
much
we'll
it.
call it.
That's a
Yeah.
wrap.
Blaine, I appreciate you, man. This was awesome. Shit. Fucking awesome, dude. You're such a well-spoken dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right, man. We'll see you on Instagram then.
All right. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Peace, boys.